See this? It's not his fault. Gone Girl is directed by David Fincher, and it stars Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike. In this film, Ben Affleck's character comes home to find his house disturbed and his wife missing. And he goes to the police, and over the course of the next few days, a media circus ensues, and a whole bunch of people start helping him to look for his wife. But the longer that goes on, the more eyes start turning towards his direction and start to ask the question, did he have anything to do with his wife's disappearance? Many of the performances in this film are great, and none better than Rosamund Pike. She comes into this film not having a lot of experience with very challenging roles as an actress, but she definitely proved her worth in this film. I thought that every time she was on screen, she stole the show, and she was able to convey a very wide spectrum of emotions in the scenes that she was in this movie. Now, the other side of this coin is Ben Affleck, and David Fincher actually said that he specifically picked Ben because of the amount of scrutiny that he's had in his career, and he thought that that would allow Ben to bring this kind of edge and, chip on his shoulder type attitude to this role. And to Ben Affleck's credit, he jumped in with both feet, and I think it really paid off. He has never been better than he was in this film. His performance was fantastic. And I do think that this role was tailor-made for him and his style of acting. But he really did a really fantastic job, and I loved seeing him in this film. I thought he was very, very effective in this role. There were a couple other performances of note. First and foremost, the most surprising was actually Tyler Perry. I mean, who knew the guy could actually act? I don't think that he's done a lot of very good acting in the past. I'm looking at you, Alex Cross. But in this particular case, he came in and he was great. And every scene that he was in, I just really enjoyed his character. The other surprising performance of this film was Neil Patrick Harris, but this one not so much in a good way. He wasn't bad by any wild stretch of the imagination. I do think this role was a tough one, and I just don't know that he pulled it off all that well. And I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know if that's just a fault of the character. Sometimes book adaptations are difficult because some characters' motivation works in books and it doesn't on film, and it's up to the actor to get that right. And he just missed something in this. But overall, there were so many good performances in this film that, the fact that he was just kind of okay didn't bother me too much. Now, this film looks amazing. That is one of the strengths of David Fincher. He is meticulous to a fault. He is a perfectionist. If you look back on some of his previous films and watch some of the behind the scenes, you'll see some of the crazy lengths that he goes to get the technical shots that he's trying to create. I think that's one of the reasons why he's one of the best directors out there today. And I think that's also why he's one of the most consistent directors. I think if you match up his filmography to just about anybody out there making movies today, he stacks up pretty darn well. I mean, he does not make very many bad films. Alien 3 is an outlier. It was his first film, but if you ever want to see something really interesting, go watch the making of that movie. It is a textbook example of how a production fails, and you'll see why, to this day, David Fincher doesn't even like talking about it. And what's great about this film is its many parts. It's one part character study, and these specific characters, how they clash with one another and how they interact with one another. And Ben Affleck's character specifically, and how he deals with the situation and the perception of the people around him that are looking at him with suspect eyes. It's about a commentary on the news media and this 24-hour news cycle that we find ourselves in the 21st century, and how reactionary it can be, and even the public at large. There are just a lot of different things going on in this film, and I felt like it wrapped them all up really well and communicated it all in a very pleasing package, and I really enjoyed it. While this film isn't as dark as some of Fincher's other material, it's not a bright spot either. It's a very bleak and grim story. It is sometimes violent and graphic, but at the same time, much of that is in its proper place, and certainly in context of the story, you understand why it's there. I really enjoyed this film. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. If you're a fan of David Fincher, or you like thrillers, or maybe if you've read this book, I think this is a faithful adaptation, and I think you'll really enjoy Gone Girl. So have you seen this film? What did you think about it? Leave a comment below and let's talk about it. And as always, click right here if you like what you see, and subscribe to even more of me.